Today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called Why I Left California for Warsaw, Poland. So I really enjoy watching these types of videos, seeing people from other countries move to Poland and share their experiences. Definitely it's always interesting when Americans move to Poland and see their experiences and their descriptions of how the two countries compare, why they enjoy Poland. And this is another one, so let's watch this and you can tell me what you think about this.
A question I get asked quite frequently is, why would you ever want to leave California for Poland? And it's an honest question. I don't blame people for asking. Why would anybody ever want to leave utopic California for, of all places, Poland? Why would I ever want to leave the warm, pristine beaches of the West Coast in exchange for Warsaw's many shades of gray?
I mean, when you see what's happening in the west coast of America, like San Francisco these days, all the looting, all the crime, even looking at that, you can already see why people would want to leave there, never, even having those pristine beaches.
The first reason for my move is primarily motivated by economic reasons. For context, I'm the managing partner at a venture fund called Atmos Ventures, where we invest in early stage technology companies. Poland is sitting on a gold mine of tech talent. It ranks number 4 overall in terms of STEM graduates and first in terms of female STEM graduates in the European Union. It's this high concentration of tech talent that sets Poland up to be a real contender in the next 5 to 10 years in a world that's becoming more and more digital.
Wow. Actually, my experience in work is working in tech, in fintech, and I work in Malaysia. I worked in Asia for the last 12, 13 years, but recently we've been considering moving somewhere else, whether it's back to UK, places like Canada, Australia. The more I learn about Poland, the more I watch these videos, which was just for my own education to start with, just learning about Poland. The more I watch these things, the more it actually makes me want to move to Poland. Not just what he's saying with regards to the tech industry and how it's potential growth, but everything, the Polish people, the Polish economy, the Polish way of life, even things like just the cities, the towns and things just being beautiful. Actually, the more I watch, I really think in Poland is a place that I would consider moving to seriously.
Stereotypes about the tech industry tend to be that it's run by a bunch of geeky men. But walk into any Polish tech company and you'll find a near 50-50 split between male and female engineers. This contrasts greatly to where I come from. After spending many years in the San Francisco Bay Area and being surrounded by programmer culture, it's both shocking and refreshing to find myself in this new Polish reality. But it's not just that step away from programmer culture that gets me really excited. What really gets me excited is the quality of the engineers here. Let me put it this way. Poland is one of the world leaders in terms of data science, machine learning, and quantum information theory. Polish engineers top the charts on Kaggle regularly, and companies like Box, Microsoft, Google, and NVIDIA are building multi-billion-dollar centers right here in Warsaw. Poland is a bit of a paradox when compared to Silicon Valley. In the Valley, we had a saying, too many CEOs and not enough engineers. But the opposite is actually true here in Poland. Given the fact that Poland just recently emerged from behind the Iron Curtain, the Polish entrepreneurial scene is still evolving. Most Polish tech startups that are founded and operated by former engineers also run their companies like engineers. So when you see how a product is packaged and sold, it's obvious that it was developed by an engineer. One of the drawbacks of being stuck behind the Iron Curtain for almost half a century is also the fact that the Polish economy just recently opened up to the greater global economy. So entrepreneurs are still learning how to tap into those global markets and appeal to their customers. But where some Poles see this as an impediment, I see this as an opportunity.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say is the thing I like about living in Asia is there's so much growth. I've lived in China, I've lived in Thailand, Malaysia, working in finance and tech, fintech, and I just, not just with regards to opportunities in work, just with regards to daily life, there's always growth, there's always new things being built and things being done. When you compare it to the UK where I'm from, it's very stagnant. If anything, it's moving backwards. When I see a country like Poland, I absolutely love everything about it, and something like the growth that not only is he and he's talking about in the future that's seen since the late 80s, it's been absolutely phenomenal. It makes it such an enticing place to actually move to, and people. There was always the joke about Polish people going to UK to work. I think now people from the UK are going to be wanting to move to Poland and work because it's such a exciting place.
Poland is a European growth champion. Its GDP has been growing at a rate of 4.5% per year since 1990, the highest out of any European country. And even with the economic downturn caused by COVID-19, Poland's economy shrank by a mere 3.5%, when compared to the OECD average, which shrank by 5.5%, or the UK, which shrank by as much as 10%. And with unemployment rates soaring across Europe, Poland's have barely budged. Poland maintains the lowest unemployment rate in the entire European Union, according to the latest Eurostat figures. And according to the IMF, Poland's growth continues to accelerate into 2021 and beyond. Even if you're not Polish, you can still easily communicate with everyone here. Poles start learning English in primary school, so the majority of adult Poles speak decent English. And even if you don't understand any Polish, you can still easily get by day to day. I've traveled the region, and without a doubt, out of all of the Eastern Bloc states, Poland feels the most Western.
I think even with the language, I think if I moved to Poland, I would 100% learn the language. I can speak Malaysian, I can speak Bahasa Melayu, which is the language here. I learned it for 2 or 3 years. I can speak it to quite a good level now. I feel like if you move to any country, you should at least have a basic understanding of the language, but just throw yourself into learning it. It's fun to learn it. Actually, when I was learning the language, I feel like it really activated my brain and really allowed me to focus on different things and develop myself. I felt very happy learning it. I'm not joking, this is almost like an advert to move to Poland. I feel like I'm going to go into this guy's website and try and see if he's got any jobs, man.
It's important to note, however, that Poland is not east of west, nor west of east, but Poland rather is the European heartland.
True.
And most importantly, whether you're raising your kids or you just want general peace of mind, Poland is one of the safest countries in the entire European Union. According to Eurostat, in 2019, Poland ranked third in terms of safety for all of the EU. French and German citizens, on the other hand, reported 4 times more crime than their Polish counterparts. The food is absolutely incredible. The EU's food regulations are very strict, and that forces the industry to focus on quality over quantity, unlike in the US. I'll use bread as an example. The bread in the US is dreadful. It has the texture of a yoga mat. We have that same kind of bread here in Europe, except we don't call it bread, we call it toast. In San Francisco, there was an upmarket bakery called Tartines, which usually had a queue around the block. Here in Warsaw, we have the equivalent of about 40 Tartines. And if you're vegan like me, you most certainly won't go hungry. Warsaw was ranked the 6th most vegan-friendly city in the entire world, which is shocking considering its traditional meat and potatoes roots. But that doesn't mean that carnivores can enjoy themselves. Warsaw has some of the best restaurants in all of Europe, from steakhouses all the way to traditional Polish cuisine. With over 1,000 years of history, Polish cultural roots run deep. From the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth to a non-existent Poland in the 18th century, Polish artists, musicians, scientists, and writers have contributed significantly to Western culture. On a warm summer Sunday afternoon, head to the Royal Baths Park for a Chopin concert. Or you can head to one of the many museums dealing with World War II history, which affected Poland much more than the rest of Europe.
Very true.
You can also take a stroll through the incredible Warsaw Old Town, which is in fact the newest old town in the entire world, as it was painstakingly rebuilt brick by brick after the war.
Yeah, if you're from Poland, or specifically if you're from Warsaw, tell me what you're thinking about this so far. Does it really reflect truly Poland and Warsaw? Again, like from everything I've learned, it seems like an absolutely perfect place to live.
And even with steady GDP per capita growth over the years, Poland still remains a very inexpensive place to live. Warsaw is the most expensive city, but pales in comparison to other US and Western European cities. A one-bedroom flat will run you about $600 US, and an Uber ride across town will run you about $3. That same Uber ride will run you about $8 from the city center to the airport, and $15 on Uber Eats will buy you so much food that you'll have plenty left over on the following day. And unlike some European countries in the South and in the West, Poland maintains a very healthy balance between hard work and leisure time. Poles work hard, but not for the sake of working hard. In the US, there's a culture of workaholism and not much of a delineation between work and life. In the US, work is life, and it's made apparent by interactions you have with Americans at social events. A typical question an American may ask you upon meeting them is, "So what do you do for a living?" Whereas the same question won't be posed by a Pole until you really get to know them. But don't think that Poles are slacking either. Poland is one of the hardest working countries in the entire world, while at the same time maintaining healthy work-life balance with 26 days of paid leave and up to 52 weeks of paid maternity leave.
Wow.
The beauty of being based in Central Europe is that you're just a short flight away from something spectacular. After a long week, hop on a flight Friday evening and be in Rome before 9 p.m. London, Paris, Rome, and Istanbul are just a few examples of the places you can visit that are within 2.5 hours of Warsaw Chopin Airport. And if you're like me, someone who is spoiled by the mild winters of the San Francisco Bay Area, you can snowbird to Tel Aviv or Cyprus, both 3.5 hours away, or the Canary Islands, a mere 5-hour flight. Leaving the San Francisco Bay Area for Poland was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Poland is at a really unique place in its history where you have all of this economic growth being catalyzed by a highly skilled workforce and investments from abroad. Even our neighbors in Italy, Spain, and Portugal are moving here to Poland to take advantage of the low unemployment rates, the low crime rates, and the growing GDP per capita. As Poles, we tend to feed our inferiority complexes by thinking of our country as nothing more than an exporter of car parts, furniture, plumbers, and nurses, when in fact, this country of emigrants has turned into a country of immigrants. Our IT sector alone employs 500,000 people. I'm very excited where Poland is going to be in the next 10 years, and I'm proud and privileged to be even a tiny part of what will be a very big story.
Wow. I feel like that video was talking to me directly. Like, that really made me think I want to move to Poland. Like, I guess that's maybe the intention of the video, I'm not sure, but I mean, everything he said is great points especially when you compare it to the US, and even when I compare it to my own country, the UK. It's a much more vibrant, high growth place, much more potential. Definitely, I've seen comparisons with the economy overtaking the British economy. I can definitely see that happening. The average salary is going to be higher in Poland than the UK soon. And I don't see that changing. I don't see the UK somehow changing its strategy to try and gain high growth. It's just going to keep stagnating. There's no sort of innovation in the UK when you compare it to Poland as well. So tell me, if you're from Poland, do you agree with this video? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the good points mentioned in here? Do you agree with them? And yeah, tell me, would it be easy for me to get a job in Poland? Thanks.